I think as I get older, I have stopped obsessing over things that I cannot control, and coming from a more grateful place. We're just so lucky to be able to get up in the morning and walk and breathe.
Today I'm chatting with the multi-talented singer, songwriter, and actress Katharine McPhee Foster. From American Idol to motherhood and everything in between, we're talking about her journey with self-love. So there was a really exclusive beauty standard in the early 2000s when you were emerging as an artist. What pressures did you face to adhere to those standards when you were gaining fame?
I remember when I was a teenager, I had like pictures of models on my wall, and they were all like very thin. There was no other examples of fuller figured women. And so now there's like a much better balance, right? It's like you have all different types of body types that are being displayed so that there is accessibility for whatever stage that you're in. I feel so fortunate, like I had a baby and my body just kind of fell to this weight. And I've been so grateful because I really like being in this weight for my personal preference. And for other women and men, it's a different standard for them. But yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I said that my standard probably was not influenced by how we grew up, which was only seeing super skinny, which is not actually my preference, but the acceptance of where I am definitely has to do with, I think, being older and just having less of a pressure on myself to be a certain way.
There are so many incredible conversations that are happening around body image, but you've also opened up about struggling with eating disorders in the past, and some of those negative thoughts returning during pregnancy. Was it at all difficult to speak about those things when it seems like body positivity is so prevalent these days?
You always question whether you're going to open up about something personal, right? Because the media is so good at taking something that you've said and then they create headlines about it. So then it's like every headline is Kat McPhee opens up about her scary relapse of battling eating disorder. The messaging is not like the struggle. The messaging is like how you come through something. And there's a journey to it. There's sometimes like ups and downs, and there's mountains, hills, and valleys.
There are certain instances where you've spoken out when people are saying negative things or taking something out of context. Most recently, you addressed negative comments aimed at your husband on a photo he posted of you postpartum. Why did you choose to respond to that?
I mean, we do live in a world now where everything is under a microscope. You can't even post a sweet caption like, wow, she looks amazing. And if it's coming from your husband, or it's like, well, why didn't you say she looked amazing when she was 25 pounds up? Not everything has to have so much meaning to it, right? It's like, oh, he felt like posting something. So for me, I just felt like I had to just go after the hysteria. But a lot of that is, created by the media.
Was there anything that you did to prepare for pregnancy and the changes that your body would go through?
I think it caught me by surprise. It was something that was out of my control. So it definitely like re-triggered some old kind of thoughts. I came out of the pregnancy like accepting and loving my body even more. So it was like a kind of an amazing journey for me to kind of really struggle mentally, emotionally with my body changing and feeling uncomfortable with these changes. And then coming out of it and, doing photo shoots like a month after giving birth. And I look back at the pictures of my camera roll and I was proud of my body. And I was fuller than I am now. I'm proud of my body now. I was proud when we did our shoot for Mind Bra. I would have never been able to do that kind of a shoot being in that weight, 10 years ago.
Obviously, you're working with Mind now. What about that partnership interested you, and how has it empowered you in your postpartum body?
I've been anywhere from a B to like all the way to a D+. Especially when I was pregnant, I've been all over the spectrum because your body changes so much, and so do your boobs. And so like Mind is like an amazing brand because it expands with your ever-changing body, whether it's your period, your pregnancy, and it doesn't sacrifice comfort over style.
What do you wish you could tell your younger self about body image and acceptance?
I guess what I would have said to myself is don't go on that diet, because that's really what set me up for years and years of some bad behaviors.
Yeah.
They don't really ever work. That's why there's so many new diets that come out every year. Oh, try this new one, try that and this new one. The goal is to have peace and happiness throughout.